Grand Raw Rising, kings and queens. Grab your coffee or your tea and enjoy some sacred healing space for all ages and reflections that are welcomed. No matter if you're at work, watching the kiddos at home, or even driving on the road, Rising with Raw is a beautiful sacred space to learn about the chakras as well as receive our collective card reading for the day. Along with this, we will have beautiful guests and members of the tribe come on to share their gifts, their practices, knowledge, and wisdom as we self-empower and become aware of who we are as we go forth by day.
Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian.
Blessings, everybody. This is our final episode of Season 4 of Rising with Raw. In this episode, I take us on a journey of exploring our Christ heart. We tap in with the divine love and Christolight of our higher heart chakra as the chakra of the day. To complement our higher heart chakra, we connect with the divine love, the grace, and the elegance of Mary Magdalene as our final spirit guide of Season 4. We then tap in to some Magdalene rose codes as we receive some cup filling activations for our higher heart chakra. Then after this, we are joined with our royal guest of the episode, who we saw on a previous episode as a surprise guest, briefly. We are joined by geologist James, my brother from Wisconsin. As he joins us, he talks about his passion, as well as some of his stories and knowledge surrounding geology and what his experiences have been like out in the field, collecting gems and other stones. Enjoy the episode. Feel free to leave your feedback or anything that you'd like to reflect upon or that you got downloaded during this video. If you are someone that would like to be a guest on Rising with Raw, you may direct message me, Marcus Christolight, to set up an episode. Ashe. Here we are. Okay, we take a breath. Welcome, everybody. Grand rising, grand day to you. And thank you for tapping in and joining me as we rise together on this beautiful Friday. And we are somewhere outside of time, as it seems. So it looks like here, when I click on the timer for the live, it just says 000. So I guess this live is officially a glitch in the matrix of some sort in this Instagram. And we have no timer on this. It's just 000s right now. I wonder if I can take a screenshot. Yep, got it. Cool. Never seen that before. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen that before. But yeah, it says 000. Pretty interesting. But anyhow, thank you for being here for this Rising with Ra. And I'm your host and Sacred Pharaoh of the Space, Marcus Christolight. And today is going to be our final Rising with Ra for Season 4. So we'll be back probably around maybe late spring for Season 5. And I just want to say thank you to not only all of my supporters, all of the tribe, and everybody that's been a part of these episodes, but I also want to give thanks to everybody that came on to the live spaces, whether you were a planned out guest or a surprise guest. Thank you all that participated and were a part of these spaces. Greatly appreciate you guys. And just want to make sure everybody is hydrating and drinking clean water throughout the day. And just remembering to support yourself with a little bit of healthy nutrition as well. At least, bringing balance to your nutrition. You don't have to be like fully plant-based or fully vegan or anything like that. But, you definitely would like to have a balance. You don't want to be too far extreme in, acidic foods or just meat and dairy and that's it. Try to have a balance. But going into this episode of Rising Raw today, as it'll be our final of Season 4, we'll be navigating into some other creative flows and creative outlets that will be available for all of you guys to connect with, such as my podcast coming up next week, on 12/12, I'll be dropping a fresh new episode of my Sacred Light Conversations podcast, and that's on the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. And you guys can find that under podcasts as well as playlist under my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'll be having a fresh episode drop on 12/12, and it'll be featuring a sacred guest who is from Ontario, Canada. Her name is Lisa, and she's a Reiki master and teacher. She's also a certified hypnotist and regressionist, and we'll be talking about the process of shedding layers, shedding density, and just what that can look like, you know, the struggles that can come with that, the positives that come with it, as well as other ways to consciously navigate your ascension journey. So that'll be on 12/12, that'll be premiering on the YouTube channel, and you guys will have the opportunity to be able to get notified later on this weekend. But if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, you guys can just stay up to date with all of this stuff as it goes. And thank you to my subscribers. (2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending into fourth dimensional collective consciousness. Azor,
Grand Rising Captain.
can you give me the update on third dimensional planet Gaia?
Yes, Christo, with pleasure. Gaia 3D currently is under critical condition. It seems there is a large amount of humans that have forgotten who they are, causing confusion, division and war driven by fear.
Thank you, Azor. Before we head down to Gaia, can you give me any information about the 3D world, as it's been a while since I've been there?
Sure, the 3D Gaia. We will face much resistance from negative polarity beings as a dual plane. Karma and Dharma are in effect. There is free will. It will be wise to protect our energy and hold love.
Alright, thank you, Azor. Sounds like we have quite the task at our hands. But that's why we're here, and that's why we've been called upon in the Galactic Federation to go down to planet Gaia, the 3D realm. Alright, Azor, let's get ourselves ready to go. Let's hit the time portal and make sure we land in the present day, Mother Gaia, third dimension. Whoa, oopsies. Yeah, not that one. Okay, let's try this one. Maybe this is the portal. Oh yeah, Azor, this is a little too far in the future. I think we need to kind of go back a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Modern day Earth.
Captain Christo, as we approach, I will prepare our guest suite on the mothership for the souls we hold space for. Oh, and Captain, I will be sure to leave plenty of storage for earthly food delights to take for our travels.
Oh my gosh, Azor, you never fail to make me laugh. You know those earthly delights? That good old food of earth. Absolutely gotta have that food of earth. Thank you, Azor. Alright. It is time. It's time to make our way down to 3D Gaia. To hold space, show love, compassion, bridge the conscious collective, and help provide knowledge and wisdom and tools so fellow souls can remember who they are, live in a unified mind state with a harmonious being, with holistic, conscious practices and tools that they may access efficiently and quantumly.
Welcome aboard. I am Azor. Please get cozy. Grab a tea, snacks or crystals as we prepare for a sacred light conversation. The sacred holding space is down the hall to the left. Wholeness, balanced love.
Azor! Hey.
Grand day, Captain.
Well, first of all, Azor, what is taking so long with those cookies that I asked for? And number two, now that we have our sacred guest from planet Earth that is here to share their story, their wisdom and knowledge for the rest of the tribe, can you go ahead and pull up their background and go ahead and share with the rest of the tribe a little bit about our sacred guest on this coming episode?
Christo, I had to get more cookies from the store they call Whole Foods on Earth during our stop with your diet. 2 minutes on the timer. Our sacred guest, Lisa Kavanagh, based out of Ontario, Canada. Lisa is an intuitive energy therapist, certified hypnotist and regressionist, and a Reiki master teacher. She is also an active member of the National Guild of Hypnotists since 2019. Practicing for 8 years, Lisa received her first level Reiki certification in 2014 and master's in 2017. She graduated in 2012 with high honors from Centennial College's Addiction Studies program with a certificate in counseling skills.
Gracias, Azor. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I cannot wait for those cookies. I'm so glad you got them. I appreciate it. Thank you for expecting my diet. And they should be ready in just a moment. Just in time for the podcast. How perfect and divine timed. And for everybody else, to the rest of the tribe, get cozy and enjoy this Sacred Light conversation with Lisa Kavanagh out of Ontario, Canada, as we'll be exploring hypnosis, holistic healing, and how to be conscious and self-aware of your energy field. Feel free to leave comments and feedback. Wholeness, balanced love. Chocolate chip cookies. All right, it's time to kick off this final episode of Rising with Ra of season 4. And on this episode, we're going to go ahead and skip our collective oracle reading, and we're going to navigate into our chakra of the day, as well as our spirit guide of the day, and do a short and brief clearing and activation for our higher heart chakra, which is going to be our chakra of the day. and we'll be connecting with the rose codes and the healing love of Mary Magdalene as our spirit guide. So we'll be doing a very loving and elegant higher heart clearing. And then after that, we will be having our royal guest of the episode join us. And our royal guest is someone who appeared on Rising with Ra as a surprise guest at the end about 2 weeks ago. And his name is James. And he is a geologist. He travels and collects different minerals and gemstones. And he's going to be joining us as our royal guest to talk about his journey and some things surrounding the beautiful path of geology and the type of love it's brought into his life. So that'll be our royal guest after we go through our chakra of the day and our connection with Mary Magdalene. We'll be having James, who is a wonderful brother and geologist, joining us right afterwards. Welcome in. Nice. Tapped in while you're driving. I bet it's a very nice way to be spending your rising, driving in the car, listening to some beautiful, supportive, resonant vibrations. I really enjoy listening to these in the car, actually. Something about me is that, like, when I create stuff and I produce, I like to listen to it from different devices, different ways of listening to it, just to like really feel the fullness of what I created and see like how it really resonates and hits people during different ways of life when they're listening. And yeah, I really enjoy listening to it in the car. Podcast and educational esoteric knowledge while in the car, especially on like half hour and longer car rides, makes the time just be nothing. But anyhow, our chakra of the day on this Rising with Ra. So our chakra of the day is going to be the higher heart chakra. And the higher heart chakra, it is located at the top of the chest, so in between the throat and the lower chest, which is where the throat chakra is, and the heart chakra. It's going to be right there at the top of the chest, and it's going to be basically at that thymus gland, and that's going to be your higher heart chakra. Traits of this chakra. The traits of this chakra, it is 128 hertz frequency when it comes to resonant sound healing. It is also the color aqua and pink. Now we say aqua, we're basically saying like a turquoise color. Physical body parts and organs that it encompasses, since the chakra is in the physical body area. It is the nerves, the breast, the blood, and the hands. So if there is anything surrounding chest, such as diseases, imbalances, cancers, things like that, higher heart chakra is a direct energy center to help clear that. It also is going to be your main center for your immune system. Now, characteristics that it brings into your human life. It is the energy center for transmuting darkness into pure light and joy. It is where we access joyful and innocent energy. It is where we embody and are aligned with the energy of faith and having tolerance. When we say tolerance, we're talking about tolerance as in like when you think of, Christ, because this chakra is basically the Christ conscious chakra. It's the Christ heart, as they call it. So when you think of like Yeshua or Christ or a Christ figure, you think of tolerance as in having tolerance for your neighbor, having tolerance for other humans in their experience, being able to tolerate the fact that we're meant to go through trials and tribulations, that we're going to have flaws, being able to tolerate that and not, take it personal, become irritated, attached to it. Now, it's also going to be the energy center for accessing detached, Christed love. Now, there's a difference between detached, Christed love or higher love and human, emotional, attached love. There is a difference. The human, emotional, attached love is a little bit more of a limited scope of energy and the way it's being used, because it's based off of basically attachments and a how do you word this really? It's based off of a more personal sense of love and connection rather than a more universal scope of detached love. For example, the love of knowing that it's not your responsibility to make choices for others. But when they make choices that you don't necessarily agree with or that you wouldn't make, you still unconditionally love that person for who they are and not personalize the choice they made for their journey. And at the same time, also allow them to make their own choice, to go through their own experience, knowing that it's okay and that it's divine either way. So that's like a Christed love compared to an emotional attached love where it's continuously pampering or feeling like you're obligated to having to take every step for somebody and kind of interject yourself from allowing others to grow and go through their soul journey. Okay, so the last trait is it is the bridge for your intellect and emotions. So it is the bridge between the mind and the heart, communicating, expressing your honesty and your truth, and having your honesty and truth negotiating with your mind. So now, blockages in the chakra can look like feeling unworthy, mistrusting your intuitive nature, rejecting one's own emotions, and not knowing your purpose. These are blockages in a higher heart chakra. Alright, so now we have crystals for the higher heart, and we have jade, emerald, green calcite, rose quartz, pink tourmaline, and aventurine. These are all really good crystals that resonate for the higher heart chakra. Alright, so that's our education for our chakra of the day, the higher heart. Now, our spirit guide of today that we are going to connect with. Welcome in, Kaya. I just went over the higher heart chakra, and now I'm about to go over our spirit guide of today. And our spirit guide of today is going to be the great Mary Magdalene. So we're going to be connecting with the rose codes and purity of Mary Magdalene, as she is going to help clear and expand our higher heart chakras. And then after that, we're going to be having our royal guest of the episode join us, and his name is James out of Wisconsin, and he's a geologist, and he's going to be sharing some of his beautiful gem and mineral collection, share some of his stories, and a little bit of love. Alright, so our spirit guide of this Rising with Ra, our final Rising with Ra, Season 4. We have the elegant Mary Magdalene. I'm sure a lot of us have had many different relationships with Mary Magdalene, or have heard of her in many different ways. But here's what I got for you. Mary Magdalene was an avatar. She had descended to earth in an incarnated form, a goddess manifest. The avatar is a concept understood in Hinduism, and actually means descent. What Mary Magdalene wishes to share with you is that you too are an avatar. Your body is your material, physical appearance, playing a character in this game of life. The gaming world is a good example, for it is conceptualizing the process on a screen. Life really is a game. You can choose to play it with the help of those in the celestial realms, like Mary Magdalene, and walk a spiritual path, which includes joy, fun, laughter, health, happiness, love, and abundance. Or you can struggle with life and see it as a chore. Mary Magdalene wishes to support you in finding your inner strength. She will guide you to go deeper and deeper within the within, to portals held inside you and you alone. No one else holds in their chalice the nectar that is sacred to you. In your journey, beautiful soul, your magic and alchemy is waiting for you to be found within your hidden truth. Mary Magdalene knew of this in her earthly incarnation and wishes to enable you to understand and utilize this too. Mary Magdalene was healed, whole, and a healer in her own right. She was a priestess of the Isis temple and an embodiment of the goddess Sophia. You don't need to be a female to utilize Mary Magdalene's healing power. She wishes to share the secrets of a balanced, wise, and unconditionally loving being who balanced the divine masculine and feminine within her. Mary Magdalene helps you to flow with the changing tides of time, for nothing stays the same. For many years, she was dishonored by the church, but now she has been venerated and has her own feast day. Although she tells me this means nothing to her, what makes Mary Magdalene's heart sing is seeing the rise of the divine feminine, and the way the world is slowly becoming more balanced from thousands of years of patriarchal rule and domination. Every time someone on earth acknowledges their own divinity and sovereignty, the era of peace gets closer, and a world of harmony, love, and joy will be the game we play. Ashe. Mary Magdalene. Wow. Ooh, wow. Feel that. Got some tears in my eyes. What the heck? Holy smokes. All I did was just read about her. Got my rose quartz. Oh man. Whew. Let's just take a moment to digest that energy, that truth, that love of Mary Magdalene. Wow, that's powerful. Dang. Remembering that you are in a physical game, in an avatar. What a way to kick off that message. Oof. Yeah, I just received some medicine there. I don't know about all of you. Oh, God. All right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves ready to open up even more and receive some even deeper love from this beautiful being of Mary Magdalene, as we are going to do our higher heart chakra activation. And then after that, we will be joined by our royal guest of the episode, James from Wisconsin, my geologist brother. All right, so let's go ahead and get comfortable. Grab your crystals if you would like. I got rose quartz and emerald over here. Let's go ahead and grab your crystals. And if you're going to be sitting down, just having your back straight, and you can use a pillow, couch, edge of your bed, whatever you need to help support. And then if you're going to be laying down, having your legs straight and not crossed, so you're not blocking the flow of energy and now the soles of your feet. And if you're laying down, just as a suggestion, you can take your crystals and place them right at the top of your chest, right below the throat, on your higher heart chakra, and that will help bring some crystal connection and crystal therapy. If you're sitting, you can just hold them in your hand, or you can hold them up to your upper chest. Alright, so now just checking in with our shoulders, making sure we're relaxing our shoulders. Checking in with the jaw, making sure we're not clenching our teeth. And lastly, checking with our hands to make sure we're not balling our fist. Just softening the body, releasing any tension and stiffness that we are holding on to. Relaxing the shoulders. Letting the elbows loose. Focusing on the breath. You may either breathe in through the nose or breathe in through the mouth. Expand the stomach. Breathe directly into the higher heart chakra at the top of the chest. And exhale out of the mouth. Breathing in through the nose to the higher heart chakra, and exhaling out of the mouth. Just guiding and feeling the breath filtering through the higher heart chakra. Focus on this breath through the practice. And as we breathe, I'd like for you to envision a beautiful pink and turquoise ray of light and this soft, elegant pink turquoise ray of light begins to awaken. It begins to to shine and surface from deep within the core of the being. And as this energy begins to rise at the top of the chest, from within the being, we begin to feel a blissful, light, loving energy begin to pour out of the higher heart chakra. And as it begins to waterfall out of the chakra, it begins to pour all the way down to the bottom of your energy field. And as it pours, it begins to fill all the way from the bottom of your being, and make its way up, filling every inch, every energetic surface within your aura and energy field. This bubbly, blissful, innocent, loving energy flowing throughout the being, releasing away any tension, any blockages, any attachments that are keeping you from experiencing joyful energy, inner happiness, tranquility, and peace. Anything that is keeping you from celebrating life and remembering the beauty within. All dissolving away into this joyful love. Allow yourself to smile, to laugh, to giggle if you feel it. Allow yourself to feel your inner love, your inner child. Smile for as long as you would like. Never be afraid to smile. Staying with the breath. Now Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene come forth with their love. And Mary Magdalene offers a beautiful rose for you to keep in your subconscious mind. And you may bring back this symbolic rose of life to remember the connection to Mary Magdalene's energy, the love of this moment in this space, and all energy connected to the rose codes. And now taking this rose in our subconscious mind as a reminder in our physical realm We now make our way back to our physical being. Consciously, when we're ready, returning back, moving our body, opening our eyes, coming back to our physical realm. Wow. Shoo-wee. That was lovely. How are we all feeling after that? Wow. All right, everybody. Thank you for everybody that was a part of that beautiful space. We're going to go ahead and now navigate over into having our royal guests join us. Our royal guest being James, a fellow geologist out of Wisconsin. And he's going to be joining us to talk about some of his adventures, a little bit about his passion, anything else that he finds helpful for the collective. Whew. Here we go. Here we go with IG. There it is.
Ooh, that was just absolutely rejuvenating and refreshing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You sent me scrambling to find my green calcite,
Ooh.
as well
Green
as
calcite.
pink tourmaline and some jade. So,
Wow.
Marcus, so we met at Hope Fest and connected over crystals and rocks and minerals, and you gifted me this spectacular obsidian and I believe it's chrysocolla and hematite bracelet that I deeply appreciate and have carried with me for a while on our journey. So the nice thing about rocks and crystals is you can never have too many of them, and everyone is unique and memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's such a fantastic gift and something that is, you know, part of like nature's abundance that we can share, and it can just represent so much for us in our spiritual journeys, and just a great way to show our appreciation and reflect on like the beauty of this entire world. So thank you for inviting me on. So as a, you know, royal guest, I'm honored to share my story of my journey in geology and to, you know, give people a peek into what my world is like. So I'll do a little past, present, future, you know, journey.
Sounds good, brother, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's I know a lot of people like really love crystals, you know, but not too many people really get to experience like, you know, what the process is like to get the crystals, or like, you know, what they look like when they're like, you know, fresh and raw, and really be able to like connect with and hear the stories of, you know, what that process is like. So I feel like it's just like an honor and a privilege to be able to hold this type of space for you, to be able to share these experiences, because, you know, like I said, there's a lot of people that love crystals, but like don't get to experience this side of it all. And I think it's really awesome. And for me personally, I really enjoy, you know, learning the process, also, you know, being involved in the process too, if I can, with just how, you know, such beautiful energy and beautiful things get into our possession. It's really a beautiful thing. So thank you for doing so. And yeah, it's really interesting. Now all of a sudden the Instagram live time is starting. So
Hey,
like everything's going,
we're in
and now
the real time zone again. Yeah, so crystals are so fascinating and they're fantastic tools, and I've always just felt drawn to these, you know, natural curiosities. You know, ever since I was like 6 years old, I was like picking up stones on the side of the road and finding like odd-shaped rocks, which I later discovered were, you know, types of fossils called crinoids. And I'd explore my neighborhood and run around and look at different rocks. And, you know, I found this large red rock that we broke chips off of, and we could use it as chalk, drawing on, you know, our driveways, making these red lines. And I later discovered that that rock was called red ochre. And red ochre has like immense spiritual significance to Native Americans. You know, we would dig holes in my backyard, very sandy soil, and I remember finding, you know, my first piece of rose quartz just in this sandy soil, digging through my backyard. And so I've always been drawn to, you know, rocks and stones and nature. And it's just grown and evolved and ballooned over time. My interests have expanded and been refined, and I've just constantly seeked out these beautiful places in nature and the abundance that, you know, you can find there. So I would say where I really started, you know, tapping into the rocks, minerals, and crystals, being from Wisconsin, I would hike on the Lake Michigan shoreline. So if you don't know, it's this enormous lake. You can't see across it. It's like walking on an ocean, fresh water, and it was the most peaceful place I think I've ever found in my entire life. I still go back there in my mind, and it's this 150-foot high red clay bluff with this narrow strip of gravel shoreline about, you know, 30 feet wide, and you could just hike miles and not see anyone. And it's just me, the water, the bluff, and then I'm just looking at the rocks and searching and learning the rocks. So no one was there to teach me, but I discovered, you know, about a half dozen unique types of rocks that were, you know, special to me. So a pink stone called dianthus chert, a blue and gray type of agate that I called cascade agate, a blue and green spotted stone that I call variolite, a type of fossil coral with a pattern like a honeycomb with hexagons. And I would, you know, collect these stones and fill my backpack up until I couldn't carry anymore. And it's incredible how, like, your focus changes when you're weighted down with all these rocks. You can't, your vision, you can't see these rocks anymore. And so I found that you really find what you're looking for a lot of the time. If you go out and focus on a certain type of rock, that's what you'll find, and you'll be able to sort out everything else and really just hone in on this one thing. So that is the greatest value of rock hounding, is like the peace and serenity that you can find in nature and the connection. And you know, it's different than spending time in nature in other ways, because you're completely present in this moment with this tremendous amount of like visual information coming through to you, and the treasures jump out at you. And a lot of the time there'll be like one or two or three rocks that, you know, are just like special and unique and hold a little bit of magic in them. So that's how I started, you know, really falling deeply in love with geology and rock collecting. Just spending countless hours walking hundreds of miles on the shores of Lake Michigan and discovering these rocks and naming them myself.
That's really awesome. And so have you always been in Wisconsin? Is that where you've always been resident?
Yes, that's where I've been, located and centralized, spending my time. But over the years, I've had many opportunities to travel all across the country, exploring and chasing after crystals. So
Yeah.
I really dove deep into my studies and worked on my geology degree, and then started journeying out. So, despite that, I went to college with, dozens of other geology students. The field collecting of crystals is still like a small niche. I am definitely exceptional and unique in my passion for field collecting. So what really got me started was I would lead geology club trips with other students. I'd lead a dozen or 20 students on week-long trips, exploring and collecting rocks and minerals. So we would travel to North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. We travel all over collecting and exploring. And just the most astounding places and experiences came as a result of that. It takes a lot of, research to just find the location where crystals can be found. But then once you're there, it's like a whole nother ball game. Like, you could be standing right on top of a school bus full of crystals, but you don't know where to dig for them. So, it takes practice, and it takes luck, and a lot of determination.
Yeah, I bet. I actually went gem mining one time in South Carolina, and it was an amazing experience. Like, it's definitely something I want to do a lot of times. It was a really nice spot. It's just like these mounds, and it was just like an open freelance area, and you just bring your own bucket and your own tools, and get on your hands and knees, start digging, and you're just doing the raw, real thing. And it was really cool. Got some quartz, amethyst, some citrine, and some smoky, and it was just really cool, like experiencing the full in-depthness of really using your hands and your own being with the ground and the earth, collecting them. It's really a wonderful experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Being immersed in, the earth, and you're experiencing the outdoors and the earth in a different way. I know so many different types of gravel, rock, dirt that no one would care about. And, you see the crystal at the end of the day, but I see the entire place that this crystal came from, and like the geologic situation that formed it and deposited it. And sometimes like these formations, you're taking a piece out of it. It's like plucking a feather off of a bird. Like, the feather is beautiful, but seeing it as part of this bird, it really comes alive and like feels so like significant. And I wish I can share all of that with everyone. And so that's why, I love sharing the videos and photos of my mining trips and showing them like, this is just a piece of this crystal vein that was just incredible that I was able to harvest.
Yeah. If you have any like videos or anything of that, feel free to send them to me, and I'll add them in on the YouTube version. And I can play them while you're talking and just like have them playing and stuff, like a memory,
That'd be great. I'll send over some videos from my recent trip to Graves Mountain, Georgia, where I mined the most amazing hematite I've ever found in my life.
Oh, okay. I love hematite.
It is, it was spectacular and very, very abundant. Hematite, it's a heavy rock, man. You gotta carry bucket loads out of there. It's like, I don't lift weights, man. I just carry rocks around and dig with pickaxes and shovels.
That's a real deal workout right there, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So my question for you is well, number one, is there anywhere that you're available for people in case they want to ask questions about geology, or if they would like to purchase any of your gemstones?
Yeah, absolutely. So feel free to message me on Instagram, James Diggs Rocks, and I'm more than happy to share any locations. Just tell me whereabouts you're at or where you're traveling through, and I can pretty quickly pull, a couple of the best spots that I would recommend. Feel free to add me on Facebook, or message me for, if you want to direct message me about sales. I have a very large and extensive collection here at home. I'd be happy to put a package together for you. I also do lapidary work, so that's the cutting and polishing of gemstones into, jewelry and other ornamental pieces. And so I can do custom made necklaces, earrings, jewelry, and so forth. So just message me. I'm working on setting up an online store this upcoming year. I've got a goal that I'm materializing, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, I absolutely support it, 100%. And I'll be supporting it as much as I can once you get that store out, for sure.
Right on, thank you. So I would like to share a little story about like the beautiful experiences that come about when you're mining. So I went out to Tucson, Arizona, like 2 years ago, which is the world's largest rock and gem trade show. And so I spent about 2 weeks in Tucson going to rock and mineral shows every single day and just like soaking it in and looking at it, like, and exploring and trying to wrap my head around like rocks and minerals and fossils from all over the world, South America, Africa, Asia, like just this natural abundance converging in this place. But the most important thing is, the people and the personalities that really bring life to these, amazing natural objects. And I met some extremely kind and generous people that, shared a mining location with me. And I traveled far out into the desert and camped for 2 weeks in the Furnace Valley in Arizona, and discovered this spot with the most beautiful chrysocolla. So chrysocolla is this blue mineral, and it almost looks like little orbs and botryoidal formations. And it was this abandoned mine. So it was my first experience digging underground in tunnels. And I'm in the desert, 20 miles off any paved road, all by myself. And, I had, people kind of pointing the way and showing me how to get it done. But I was alone out there once I got there. And I was just in my head, I'm like, I'm looking for a purple pocket. And I dug for 3 days, digging into the floor of this mine. Digging. And then I had a brush. I got down to the bedrock, the floor of the mine. I brushed it all off. I'm scrubbing the floor of this mine, just looking for like any sign of color. And I hit this patch. And all these blue balls, like a handful of like these blue BBs, fall out of a hole in the rock. I'm like, there's my spot. And so I've just been digging in loose gravel. They call it just like the loose material, the float, the drift in the bottom of the mine. The first time I get my hammer and chisel out and crack into this bedrock and lift up this split open portion of rock, I flip it open, and there's this shimmering purple pocket sitting in there. First time I cracked the rock open. Yeah. And that was one of my best mineral discoveries to date so far. And so I feel like the determination you have and the focus that you have is often like returned to you like energetically.
Yeah. And you said that was your first one?
The first time I cracked into the rock, yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm in an entire abandoned mine, 300 feet back in the side of the mountain. I could have tried hammering everywhere, but I spent 3 days digging into the floor. The first time I bring my chisel and hammer, popped it right open.
Oh man, I bet that brought so much joy to your being. I bet you were just like a little kid at the candy store when that happened. Man.
Absolutely, you're tapping into nature's abundance, and I've got a video of that I can share with you of me back in that mine with the piles of crystals that I pulled out from that pocket, just sitting around in the drift on top, just
Yeah.
on display. And so since then, I still have a few of those pieces in my collection, but I've spread them far and wide. I've gifted them, I've sold them, I've shared them, I've traded them, and I'm very thankful for being able to be a steward of that material and to share that experience with so many people.
Oh, I wanna show everybody something that we made at the festival. So I want to show everybody real quick. There's something that we kind of authentically came up with in the moment at Hope Fest back in the spring of this year, which is where we met. And yeah, it was really cool. We made this by hand, and I'm gonna show you guys what it was. It was really, really unique. So this is what we have here. We have a mica sun catcher. So if you guys look, you have a traditional, this good old stick, and then you have some string, a little bit of leather, and just basically put it all together. Not really gonna go through the whole system on it, all of it, but use some string, drill some holes into the mica, and oh yeah, and there she is. Kristen actually participated in making this one as well.
It's so beautiful. Wow.
Let me open my blinds a little bit, actually. Get some more light in here, because it is really beautiful. Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
It's so beautiful. But yeah, I've been keeping that, just chilling in the living room. It is in a beautiful spot there. But that's a little something that we made at the festival that we met at. And gave that Moses bracelet, which is one of my favorite bracelets. I never thought I'd give that away, but I definitely thought it was meant for you. Repeat after me. I affirm that this space is sacred, sealed, and filled with pure rainbow love, regenerating, rejuvenating, soothing my being. Ashe. I affirm that this space is sacred, sealed, and filled with pure rainbow love, regenerating, rejuvenating,
It's all good. I'm just happy to be talking and sharing with you and connecting with our viewers here. And
Yeah,
oh,
me too. But yeah, so that's what we made at Hope Fest, and that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a unique experience. And what I was gonna ask you was where where and how long did you study and dive into geology?
yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I went to UW Milwaukee, so southeastern Wisconsin, studying geoscience there. So I spent about 6 years with a couple of, semesters off studying geology there to get my, bachelor's of science. And it was a journey. I went and started college thinking I'd be a mechanical engineer. And I switched majors after my first year of college. And I was just seeking something that was like much more creative. Mechanical engineering, I love making stuff, but it's very rote and mathematical and disconnected from creativity in a lot of ways. And I do have like a deep appreciation for science, and I appreciated geoscience because it's like this Venn diagram of overlapping science topics. You get, physics and biology, chemistry, just the natural history, mathematics. It gets all slammed together, and there's so much going on that it becomes almost like an art inside of science. And so that's what I really appreciated about it. It gives you a lot of exposure to all these different fields. And then also there's like the Indiana Jones aspect of it, of being able to go out into nature and explore and appreciate it and see it and experience it and get hands-on with it. And so, I took, several dozen classes in the geoscience field: paleontology, sedimentology, petrology, mineralogy. There's a whole world of, extreme depth in, crystals, minerals, rocks, natural history. And so it took, a long time to really appreciate like the breadth and how broad this field is. And, you start learning like how little you know, but then you also see like, here's where I can like explore and discover something a little different, and learn how to just research and dig deep into what, has been written about and explored out there, and see where like the edges of human knowledge are. And so I was very appreciative to be able to study over, with so many brilliant, students and also professors at my university.
Awesome. Thank
So
you
I,
for sharing all.
yeah, I graduated in 2019.
Very nice. Good job, man.
Yeah, thank you.
That's an awesome path to take. You don't really hear too much about that style of path. So it's really interesting. And yeah, just really grateful. Really grateful. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here and, share what I've learned and like this accumulated knowledge and all these experiences that I've had. And I'm so happy to be able to like guide people on, similar journeys and pathways, and share my appreciation for the earth, this abundant earth that we have. And it is an abundant and gracious planet that we live on. And there's busloads of crystals. There is, dump trucks of crystals. I'll tell you where to find them.
Yeah. So what's like, is there like anything that you've noticed like as like a very noticeable difference for your health and your well-being when you started interacting and connecting more deeply with gemstones and crystals?
Let's see. Oh man. Well, I would say, like I was talking about hiking on Lake Michigan and just finding like that peace in nature and finding like a place where I can experience and explore and discover things on my own and like create my own new knowledge that created like a great sense of like confidence in myself. And you know, someone named every crystal and every mineral in existence. It all came from, you know, the mind of somebody. And so we all have that same capacity to go explore in nature and describe what we're observing and integrate it into our life and, you know, see how it makes us feel. So just the fresh air, being able to be outside and connecting with the earth in that way has been tremendously rewarding.
Yeah. Wow. It's so like interesting too, like connecting with nature, as it's like connecting to such a timeless energy that always has like a story to tell, you know? Like no matter what, there's like always this like timeless story that's like encoded within nature. And it's like always there, you know? And it's so cool and so beautiful that we get to experience such a variety of material forms. And gosh, just getting into the mineral kingdom and crystals in itself and how diverse they are. I mean, holy smokes.
Absolutely. And it is astounding to me to consider, you know, the age of the rocks that I've personally collected, ranging from the oldest, you know, over, you know, 2 billion year old, the Morton gneiss in Minnesota that I've encountered, to literally on the big island of Hawaii, sticking my rock hammer into molten lava and watching rock solidify in front of me. So I have a 2 billion year old rock in my collection, and I have a, you know, a 4-year old rock in my collection.
Wow. Now, do you have like technology that is able to give you the time period?
Yeah, so there's some techniques using zircon dating where they look at, you know, this particular mineral and it degenerates at a particular rate. I have not personally aged rocks or materials, but it's in the known literature, published literature, where other scientists have looked at it and they say, you know, this Morton gneiss in Minnesota, it is of this known age range. Now, when I see the rock solidify in front of me, you know, there's no testing needed. I know it's I know it's 4 years old.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, so cool. So, do you have, let's see, I have about 17% left on my phone. Do you have any of your favorites that you would like to show us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you my desk right over here. You know, I have a little sanctuary here where I keep some of my small stones. Many of these stones are gifts or, you know, representative pieces from rock and mining trips. This is a small piece of wavelite from Arkansas that I mined recently.
Oh yeah, the Wavelight.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I looked up the properties of that. Wow, it's a powerful stone. It's got some great metaphysical properties.
There's a couple more pieces of wavelite, a couple larger ones on the other side here. This one of my favorites. wolfenite from Arizona. Ooh, I could just go on and on. This is some of the planet mine material I was talking about from Arizona.
Please do. Wow, the shade.
A friend of mine polished this one up. This is lazulite from Graves Mountain, Georgia. Very beautiful piece. It's got some pyrite scattered within it.
Wow.
This was another gift that I acquired this fall. This is called crandallite, and it's an altered version of the wavelite. And no one has ever found wavelite clusters that are this large. But the fact that this altered version of it exists means it's a theoretical possibility. And that's something that really excites me.
Wow.
This is called skeletal quartz with
Oh
this
yeah.
beautiful orange hematite coating.
Actually, I got a couple of those in South Carolina when I mined.
This is from South Carolina. This is from a spot called Diamond Hill. Right? Yeah, that's a spectacular spot. I'd recommend anyone visit that spot.
Okay, hold on. Are you serious?
100%. Yep.
That's exactly where I went.
Oh, you're at a good spot, man. That makes me happy.
Dude,
Happy for you.
okay. Like that's exactly where I went. My mom lives literally like 45 minutes from there. She lives in Anderson.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
that's so funny. I was like, oh wait, I got some of those. Oh yeah, same place.
I met a guy when I was mining at Planet Mine. He gifted me this quartz crystal with asbestos trapped in it. And so a lot of the time when, crystal and mining people bump into each other, they'll trade rocks and crystals because, I've got abundance of this thing from the eastern part of the country. He's got an abundance of this. So we swap and we each, gain and benefit from it.
Dude, that's awesome. I could definitely live that life.
I purchased this from a friend, Gabriel, this past fall at the Graves Mountain Rock Swap. And this is a yellow calcite crystal from Montana, from Red Cliff Mine. And sometimes I like to get, stones as like a guide stone. And so, I'm envisioning traveling out to this mine and digging some of these crystals myself. So I'm like, this is a guide. This will, take me to that spot. And there's clear optical dogtooth calcites up to a foot in crystal length.
Wow. All right, I have a 12% battery. Just a heads up, so we don't have too much longer.
Right on. This is a rutil crystal, my first rutil crystal I found from Graves Mountain. It's a titanium dioxide. It's on the back side of the mountain, just on this extremely steep scree hillside.
Oh boy.
And I just noticed this sticking out.
It's extremely like that. Oh boy. That must have been a dangerous one.
Yeah, sometimes you get into some sketchy situations. It comes with the territory.
Definitely. Have you had any encounters that were like a slip away?
Last year, I was digging into this side of a hill, and it was getting pretty steep. Like, I was digging into the hill, so it was like a vertical exposure.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh, is this safe? I'm not sure. So I just like sat and drank some water and just took a breather. And while I was sipping on my water bottle, I heard the wall cave in, and I saw a rock fall, and it landed right next to me, like before I had a chance to move, just like instantly. And it was about the size of a basketball, a
Oh,
boulder that fell out of this like gravel wall from about 6 feet up above me, and it landed right next to my thigh. and I had my shovel leaning against my leg, and it snapped my shovel in half.
Oh, golly,
Yeah, yep.
dude.
Yeah.
That, wow.
So that shook me up, and I'm learned my lesson. I'll smarten up next time. But sometimes you got to learn your lessons uh, through
Wow.
experience.
I'm glad you are exactly where you are now. That's, ooh.
Absolutely. I'll peek a couple of the other rocks in my collection out here.
Oh, also another question for you. What's some of your top spots that you would recommend for gem mining?
So this is some of the chrysocolla from Planet Mine. It's a beautiful piece. If I were to recommend someone going to mine, first of all, like go and mine close to home. Just go look for rocks, like any creek or river that you can find. Anywhere the rocks, just look around and see. But if you're gonna travel, Arkansas is a fantastic place for quartz crystals. Keokuk, Iowa is a great place for geodes. If you can get out west, the mountains, you can't go wrong with the mountains. Everywhere is good out there. In Ohio, there's a spot called Flint Ridge where you can find some very colorful, beautiful flint. Um, Feel free to message me. I'll point you in the right direction depending on whatever region you're in. There's in abundance out there.
Righteous mate.
This is a gorgeous piece of fossil coral from Florida.
Wow. James, is there anything that you wanted to make sure you touched on before we close out?
Um, well, I would just encourage anyone with any interest in rocks and minerals, plan a trip, get outdoors, explore what's in your local area. I'd highly encourage anyone to get in touch with me, and I'll point you in the right direction to get started.
And people can purchase from you right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do most of my sales in person, vending
Wow.
at live events, but I'm getting more and more into online sales, so keep your eyes out.
It looks like an iguana.
Yeah, I love just seeing what
Wow.
people think rocks and minerals look like. So that is a hematite coated quartz crystal from Graves
Wow.
Mountain. Some super beautiful stuff. Oh
Splendid.
man. It's so beautiful to be able to share, my passion, my love of all these rocks and minerals. And I hope, I can inspire someone to, get outside and find that connection themselves, because it has brought me so much joy and peace and enjoyment and satisfaction and so many other things. Adventure. It's the most true adventure, the most pure adventure you can encounter.
Yes, I agree. And maybe one day we'll have the treat of getting together and doing a mine. And we can maybe do some filming and document it and put it into some type of episode on the YouTube channel, and let everybody experience a little bit of our journey doing a mine together and just like let everybody get a little hands-on and the experience with us. Could be up to something like that in the future.
Absolutely, that would make me very happy. I'd be happy to, guide us on a mining adventure.
Yeah, and then perhaps maybe from there, maybe we can, open it up into a more community thing. And then we have like a tribe gathering and people from all over just come to the event and we do a nice mind and community gathering together. And how much fun that would be too. The possibilities of what we can do together. So cool.
Thank you for that vision. I think that'll come too, and sooner than we could imagine.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Maybe even next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
So,
So I'd encourage anyone reach out to me with any questions about geology, rocks, minerals, crystals, and I'll point you in the right direction.
sounds good, man. Appreciate you hopping on and joining us, James. And I look forward to our journey continuing and what comes along on our adventures. Thank you to everybody for tapping in and supporting and being part of this. Oh, uh, somebody has a quick question. Ask your question.
Yeah, what's your question?
I literally have to put my phone on the charger because it's about to die.
Ooh, I really
Okay.
liked my experience with the green calcite, this morning. Um, Christolight, you mentioned what,
Oh,
five
Christolight,
crystals? Adventurine, pink tourmaline, jade, green calcite, and
Emerald,
an
Rose
emerald,
Quartz.
rose quartz as well.
Yeah, those are gonna be like your main ones. You can catch it in the replay. It's in the replay. But yep. So for everybody out there on this episode, which is the final one of season 4, I went over the chakra of the day, which is the higher heart chakra. Also connect us with our spirit guide of the day, which is Mary Magdalene. And then we do a heart chakra clearing and activation. And then we are joined by our royal guest here, James. And he talks about his geology journey and shares some beautiful gemstones and minerals with us.
And thank
Alrighty,
you
so
so much for having me on. And it's been a beautiful experience, and I look forward to continuing our journey together.
same brother. Really appreciate your time and your energy. And have a blessed and wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
And everybody else, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend. Wholeness and balanced love.